Welcome to the Grade 6 graduation ceremonies of Class 2021 of the PWU-JASMS Manila Grade School. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating class.
Uno, Andre T. Abelia. Iham G. Ahmad. Jair Emmanuel M. Barameda. Pierce Juno A. Cochonco. Jester Given R. De Vera. Lyra May H. Delphine. Alexa Dion W. Puza. Angel Winchi B. Divina Gracia. James Allison B. Domingo. Roberto A. Espiridion Jr. Jasper Luis L. Evangelista. Aaron Isaiah S. Fernandez. Emilia Cristina C. Libunaw. Nathaniel Josh S. Lindo. Alana Maxine W. Puza. Johanna Joy B. Miranda. Samantha LV Simone R. Monson. Rain Gareth G. Oxenio. Catherine Sari T. Perez. Chastity Chloe T. Ramirez. Amal Wesam Gok Ong Shurab. Samantha Ashley L. Sokila. Karima K. Sultan. Elijah Anthony A. Velasco.
Faculty and staff headed by the Grade 6 advisor, Ms. Donella Marie B. Del Fiero. Grade School Academic Coordinator. Mr. Nolly D. O. Rodriguez, JASMS Manila Assistant Principal. Ms. Regina T. De La Cruz, JASMS Manila Principal. Mrs. Remedios H. Cruz, PWU Basic Education Executive Director. The University Officials: Dr. Susie M. Benitez, Associate Vice President for Campus Life. Mrs. Maria Luisa G. Mirasol, Vice President for Administration. Ms. Ana Maria S. Del Rosario, Vice President for Finance. Mr. Alfredo B. Reyes, Vice President for External Affairs. Dr. Felina C. Young, Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs and Chancellor. Mr. Marco Alfredo M. Benitez, the University President. Invocation.
Dear Heavenly Father, today is a special day, a day that will bring a happy ending to the hard times, and a new beginning bringing a warm welcome. Thank you for helping us through these years and for giving us the chance to thrive through. Thank you for our families that have sacrificed just to see this moment, and to the teachers that have taught us many things and cared for us. These trying times were more crucial to us considering the pandemic going on. It's been different, but we pray that the pandemic will be over soon. In the coming times, it will be certain that we will face many more challenges, and we pray that you will be by our side and help us through. Amen.
Ang Pabansang Awit ng Pilipinas, followed by Pledge.
Panatang makabayan, iniibig ko ang Pilipinas, aking lupang sinalangan, tahanan ng aking lahi. Kinukupkop ako at tinutulungang maging malakas, masipag at marangal. Dahil mahal ko ang Pilipinas, diringgin ko ang payo ng aking mga magulang. Susundin ko ang tuntunin ng paaralan. Tutuparin ko ang tungkulin ng mamamayang makabayan. Naglilingkod, nag-aaral, nagdarasal ng buong katapatan. Ialay ko ang aking buhay, pangarap, pagsisikap sa bansang Pilipinas.
The Children Speaks by Roberto A. Espirijon Jr., Johanna Joy B. Miranda, Jasper Luis L. Evangelista.
My experience throughout my years in JASMS from kindergarten to grade 5 was very fun and enjoyable because I can talk and share stories with my classmates in school. We can tease each other, laugh together, and work together in our different group activities. We can also play games together and make more friends, especially during our PE time. In JASMS, we used to have different activities in school like mini fair, family day, sports fest, field trips, scouting investiture, and camp in. And these activities made our school year even more fun and exciting. In our physical or traditional classes, there were a lot of ways for our teachers to make learning fun by giving us group activities and games during our discussion. I really like the way JASMS treats its students like me by giving us opportunities to learn and at the same time to enjoy. However, because of the pandemic, a lot of things expectedly changed. Our days in grade 6 are very different from before because we weren't able to talk, play, and tease each other physically because we weren't in school. We can't do physical activities the same way as before. In our PE class, where we used to play so many sports together, the online classes limited our fun plays and activities because there is not enough space to play at home. And in scouting, we can't spend our night together for a camp anymore. We cannot do anything about this, but there were really so many changes that took place when this pandemic started. When it comes to my experience with my online classes, it has been difficult for me, and I felt pressured, especially during the start of our classes. There were a lot of computer applications that I needed to know first because we will use those in our online classes throughout the school year. I found it hard to use those apps because I did not have my laptop with me when we started our online classes, so I only used my mother's cell phone. I felt stressed and pressured as every time our class started because I couldn't follow our teacher's instructions in our activities, like when I needed to present my work in class. We bought a computer and it helped me a lot in my studies. Since then, I gradually adjusted to my online classes. I easily learned the different computer applications like how to operate Google Docs, Google Slides, and more with the help of our teachers, especially our computer teacher, Teacher Ronnie. My knowledge of using computers grew, and I became more confident. Little by little, I was able to follow our lessons, and everything became easy for me, and I started enjoying the online classes. But there were also some issues with my online classes, like I always needed to take a nap after my class because I had to rest my eyes. Too much exposure to the computer all day would always give me headaches. Another issue we faced was the bad internet connection because I sometimes ended up turning in my assignments late, and I kept getting disconnected in the middle of our class discussion. Thankfully, our teachers were very supportive and understanding, and they really helped us to surpass these difficulties. I remember when there were still face to face classes, I would always wish that there would be a holiday so I would not go to school. But when this pandemic happened, it was like my wish came true, and I immediately started to regret my wish because being at home all the time is boring. I can't talk to other people, and I can't go outside because of this pandemic. I felt like I was stuck inside a loop, and I'm just trying to do something different. But there are limits to what I can do at home. I wish this pandemic would end. I want a normal life like before. While I would still prefer traditional classes, because learning in a school setting, in my opinion, is the best. I can say that online classes are not that bad, and there are a lot of advantages we can get from it. I actually think that despite all things, it is the best option for us to learn during this pandemic. We learn even if we are at home, and at least we are safe.
How online class is different from traditional class. Last year, on January 30, 2020, reports of the first COVID-19 infection in the country surfaced. A few months later, restrictions and quarantine protocols were implemented so as to control the spread of the virus. However, despite these efforts, the virus still ended up spreading. It continually got worse each day, and so almost everyone had to do the painstaking process of adapting into the newly devised online setup. This has been particularly difficult because we have had subjects that were much more ideal in a typical face-to-face scenario. It has now been a year of us spending our daily lives within the confines of our houses. This entire school year has been a roller coaster of emotions. I am pretty sure that almost all students have now experienced attending online classes. And I think that I speak for all of us when I say that it has not been easy at all. It is really just depressing when we can only reach out to our fellow classmates and teachers through our computer screens. We have also encountered doing countless projects that were harder to make because of this new setup. Online class has me smiling, crying, and frowning. I was never really expecting that one day I would wake up and the first thing that I would do is to prepare my laptop and repeat the same routine every day. I did not get that much rest during the weekends either, due to many requirements we needed to accomplish. Nevertheless, this is our life right now, and we have no other choice but to live through it and with it. I believe in the principle that everything happens for a reason, and thus, this pandemic is happening because the universe may be teaching us something. I also believe that one day, all of this will be over and everything will get back to normal. Now, after a difficult and, dare I say, tumultuous school year, it is now over. I honestly feel sad because we will not even physically see each other on graduation day. But, no matter what, I will never forget my classmates whom I have spent 3 years of my life with. These people have stayed by my side, and I will always remember all the moments, be it good or bad, that we have all shared together. Today marks our last day as elementary students. Time has flown away really fast because we are now preparing to become high school students. And since we are all stepping into this new chapter, I wish to offer you all the blessings and good lucks. Thank you for all the amazing memories. I cannot wait to have a face to face bonding with you all soon.
To our distinguished guest of honor, to the President of the Philippine Women University, Mr. Marco M. Benitez, to the Executive Director, Mrs. Remedios Cruz, to the PWU-JASMS Manila Principal, Mrs. Regina T. De La Cruz, to the Assistant Principal, Mr. Noli Gio Rodriguez, members of the faculty, teaching and non-teaching staff, parents to the graduating class, guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today we are gathered here virtually for a special occasion, the graduation ceremony of the 2021 Grade 6 graduating class of JASMS Manila. I am so proud and happy to be part of this class. And the proudest of all, I believed, are our parents, overflowing with joy, looking at us, having finished our elementary academic years. I first joined JASMS from my senior kindergarten. I just left for 2 years during my grades 3 and 4. Then my parents sent me back here when I was in grade 5. And now I just can't believe I have now finished grade 6. I am very happy that I graduated from the same institution I first started my formal education. As for the last lap of my elementary years, a pandemic hit the world and we resorted to virtual or online class. Since March of last year, I went home with my mom to her hometown here in Mindanao. I diligently joined our virtual classes even if I am miles away from Metro Manila. It was a very challenging school year. I can still vividly recall that I was excited for the first day. However, on the same first day, I cried because I didn't know what to say or I didn't know what to answer to the teacher. I was overwhelmed with the new method of learning. My mom saw me crying, so she cheered me up and she said, "You can do this. God is with you." My parents were very patient in guiding and encouraging me. With the help of my teachers as well, I have gained confidence each day. Up to the fourth quarter, I was already confident that I could answer all my assignments. I have learned to embrace and like the virtual class. I just focused on the positive side of it. Like I don't need to wake up very early and I really had the time to enjoy my breakfast without rushing. I also love and enjoy the online activities. There were still challenges, of course, like the headaches I felt because of prolonged screen time. At times, I got overwhelmed with the time limits in finishing my assignments, homeworks and offline activities at the right time. However, I really appreciate the commitment of the school and the teachers to provide the best learning experience despite the pandemic. With this success, I give the highest honor and glory to God, who is the owner and giver of all things. Thank God for the wisdom, the understanding, and all the divine protection and providence that you have given to us, to our parents and teachers. I would like to say thank you to my parents, my grandparents, and all the rest of my family for all the love. They are very supportive and encouraging. To all our teachers, thank you very much for your patience and commitment to teach and nurture us. To my classmates, congratulations to all of us. Our hard work paid off. I know our hearts are filled with joy and excitement because of this important milestone. We are graduating today from elementary school after 6 years of hard work, yet filled with fun and exciting experiences. We have succeeded to move up to the next level. Now, a new door opens for us for new adventures, new learning horizons, and new experiences. A whole new world of higher level of education in high school awaits us. Let us continue to dream big dreams. Soar high class of 2021. May the good Lord bless us always.
Presentation of the graduating class by Miss Regina T. De La Cruz, Principal, and confirmation of graduation by Mr. Marco Alfredo M. Benitez, University President, followed by the reading of names by the class advisor.
Mr. President, I am very much honored to present to you the grade 6 candidates for graduation who have satisfactorily completed the requirements of the grade school curriculum of the Philippine Women's University, Jose Abad Santos Memorial School, Manila.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and with the approval of the Board of Trustees, I now award you with the certificate signifying your completion of the grade school program and declare you graduates of the Philippine Women's University, Jose Abad Santos Memorial School, Manila. Congratulations.
Uno, Andre T. Abelia. Iham G. Ahmad. Jair Emmanuel M. Barameda. Pierce Juno A. Cochonco. Jester Given R. De Vera. Lyra May H. Delphine. Alexa Dion W. Puza. Angel Winchi B. Divina Gracia. James Allison B. Domingo. Roberto A. Espiridion Jr. Jasper Luis L. Evangelista. Aaron Isaiah S. Fernandez. Emilia Cristina C. Libunao. Nathaniel Josh S. Lindo. Alana Maxine W. Puza. Johanna Joy B. Miranda. Samantha LV Simone R. Monsol. Rain Gareth G. Oxenio. Catherine Sari T. Perez. Chastity Chloe T. Ramirez. Amal Wesam Gok Ong Shurab. Samantha Ashley L. Sokila. Karima K. Sultan. Elijah Anthony A. Velasco.
Awarding of honors by Mrs. Helen C. Camag, PWU-JASMS Manila Grade School Academic Coordinator.
Aaron Isaiah S. Fernandez. With honors. Iham G. Ahmad. With honors. Elijah Anthony A. Velasco. With honors. Jester Given R. De Vera. With honors. Samantha Ashley L. Sokila. With honors. Angel Winchi B. De Vinagracia. With honors. James Allison B. Domingo. With honors. Alexa Dion W. Puza. With honors. Chastity Chloe T. Ramirez. With honors. Alana Maxine W. Puza. With honors. Catherine Sari T. Perez. With honors. Samantha L.V. Simone R. Monsod. With honors. Rain Gareth G. Oxenio. With honors. Jasper Luis L. Evangelista. With high honors. Roberto A. Espirijon Jr. With high honors. Johanna Joy B. Miranda. With high honors.
Introduction of the Parent Speaker by Rain Gareth G. Oxenio.
Honored guests, teachers, parents, and classmates. Our next speaker is someone very familiar to me. She graduated with her Bachelor in Secondary Education degree from Colegio de la Purísima Concepción in her hometown Rojas City, Capiz. She was an elementary teacher with DepEd for 6 years before she went to Indonesia to teach high school students. While she was in Jakarta, she finished her diploma in Language and Literacy Education from the University of the Philippines Open University. After teaching in Indonesia for almost 2 years, she went to China to teach in one of the universities in Shenyang, Liaoning Province. She's working for Victoria University's offshore English program, teaching English for academic purposes to Chinese university students. Currently, she's enrolled in a graduate program specializing in language teaching for English. Despite her busy schedule, I grew up playing with her and listening to her bedtime stories. One of my fondest memories growing up was going to kiddie rides with her. She's my constant conversation companion, always laughing at my jokes. Ladies and gentlemen, my mom, Lilibel Garcia Oxenio.
The university officials, President Marco Benitez, Vice President for Academic Affairs and Chancellor, Dr. Felina Yang, BEd Executive Director, Mrs. Remedios Cruz, Alumni Relation Director, Ms. Ruth Piñano, graduates, and parents. It's been a roller coaster ride for all of us, and this is a milestone that we will always look back to. I remember the thoughts that came to my mind when the idea of doing online classes was put forward. How will my children learn? And what online classes? We're not ready for this. Watching my son go through this trying period is like being in a greenhouse, watching a newly transplanted seedling adapt to this new environment, bigger and wider space, with these new dynamics that will influence how he would adjust and grow. The first few months, I saw him struggle, and at some point, on the verge of tears, because of the frustrations and limitations he was facing. A lot of issues that I'm sure parents like me also experience with their kids. Connection is one of them. And this is not just about internet connection issues. Internet connection issues are just minor issues compared to what they were looking for. Connection with the teachers, connection with their classmates, connection with their friends, connection with the school. Things that they had when they were physically in the classroom. But as the weeks progressed, I saw him getting more confident with what he was doing. If you were taking care of a plant and you saw that it looked sad and unhealthy, you tended to fuss over it, moving the pot around and changing its location. Does it need more water? Does it need more sun? It was at this point of my fussing that Rain told me, "Nay, stop stressing, I'm fine." And it was at this point that I let go, letting nature run its course, so to speak. A word of appreciation for the teachers is not enough to acknowledge the hard work that they have committed to make this possible for their students. Giving up your weekends is just one of the many sacrifices that you did. And many of you would say, "What weekend? We don't have weekends anymore." I know that a teacher doesn't set boundaries when it comes to their students. If they need help, you're just there. And with the online platform, these boundaries have become more blurred and finer until there's no distinction anymore. Thank you, Teacher Dawn and Teacher Brian, for making math fun and interesting for your students. Math is not for everyone. Some just have the skill and are just better compared to other students. But you took your time with the numbers challenge once, extending your patience and understanding to them. Thank you, Teacher Marie, for reinventing art as a subject. You have opened for them a different venue to express themselves. Thank you, Teacher Lani, for making that connection stronger with your students. You gave them that much needed confidence that they were looking for from someone other than their parents. Thank you, Teacher Helen, for creating awareness in your students about social issues that happened in our history. Thank you, Teacher Edna, for making cooking fun. Personally, Rain enjoyed doing your assignments, and he now has his turn to cook for us once a week. Thank you, Teacher Tess, for making sure your students had enough physical activity this whole time. It always made me smile and feel better to see Rain doing the exercises in your class. Thank you, Teacher Amiel, for making music more interesting for your students. Rain was always excited to try a new application you showed them to create beautiful sounds, and he always made me listen to them. Thank you, Teacher Ellen and Teacher Donna, for simply being there for them during the times that we cannot. A teacher's influence in a student's life is boundless, and these students will always remember you for your presence as an older friend, an older sister. Teacher Ben and Teacher Aleli would have been proud of this moment, as I'm sure Ma'am Cruz is also beaming with pride right now with the students' achievements. For the parents who still have some worries about this situation, we're not meant to stay the same, and change is good. Congratulations to the parents and the graduating class.
The Loyalty Awardees by Mr. Nolly D.O. Rodriguez, PWU-JASMS Manila Assistant Principal.
These are the pupils who started in JASM since grade 1. Uno Andre T. Abelia, Jair Emmanuel M. Barameda, Lyra May H. Delphine, Angel Winchi B. Divinagracia, James Allison B. Domingo, Nathaniel Josh S. Lindo. These are the pupils who studied in JASMS since senior kindergarten. Roberto A. Espiridion Jr., Samantha L.V. Simone R. Munsod. This is the pupil studied in JASMS since junior kindergarten. Catherine Sari T. Perez. This is the pupil studied in JASMS since nursery. Aaron Isaiah S. Fernandez.
Pasasalamat by Aaron Isaiah S. Fernandez.
Ako po ay isang estudyante ng JASMS Manila simula nang ako ay nasa nursery pa lamang. 9 kung tutuusin po. Mas matagal po akong estudyante ng JASMS kesa hindi estudyante nito. Kaya hindi rin po siguro malayo sa katotohanan na aking sabihin na malaking bahagi ng pagkahubog sa aking pagkatao ngayon ay dahil sa mga natutunan at nakasama ko sa JASMS, ang aking pangalawang tahanan at ang mga tao dito, mga guro at non-teaching personnel, ang aking pangalawang pamilya. Sa JASMS po ako natutong magsulat at magbasa. Dito ko na rin po una natutunan makisalamuha. At dito rin po ako nagkaroon ng mga kaklaseng naging mga kalaro at kaibigan. Tinuturi ko po na ako ay mapalad na ditong nakapag-aral dahil sa kakaibang kapaligiran ng JASMS kumpara sa ibang paaralan. Dito kami ay natuto na hindi kami pressured sa dami ng homework. Ang dami ko rin pong naging natatanging alaala dito sa JASMS. Isa na ay pagtugtog ko ng bandurya bilang bahagi ng JASMS Rendalia sa iba't ibang entablado at ang pagkapanalo namin ng second place sa National Music Competition for Young Artists o ng SIA noong 2018. Ako po ay naging masaya dito dahil sa ginhawa na ibinigay ng lahat ng mga kasapi ng JASMS. Nagpapasalamat ako sa aking mga guro, lalo na si Teacher Donna, na aking class advisor simula grade 4. Silang lahat ay tunay na di lang maghusay magturo, ngunit mapagpasensya rin, maunawain at napaka-creative at innovative sa pagpaintindi sa amin ng mga aralin, lalo na ngayong panahon ng virtual learning. Ako ay nagpapasalamat rin sa mga tagapangasiwa, kanila Kuya Paul at Kuya Leo na pinanatiling malinis ang aming paaralan. At kay Kuya Dax sa pagbantay sa amin. Muli, maraming salamat sa JASMS sa mahalagang patnubay at suporta. Ako ay malungkot na iwanan itong aking pangalawang tahanan simula nang ako ay 4 na taong gulang pa lamang. Ngunit ako rin ay masaya sa lahat ng alaalang aking babaunin.
Pledge of Loyalty to Alma Mater by Ms. Ruth A. Peñano, Director, PWU Alumni Relations and Development Office.
Pledge of Loyalty. With a deep faith in my God and gratitude to the Philippine Women's University who gave birth to JASMS, I pledge on this solemn occasion to continue my support and loyalty in good times and in bad for the growth of PWU-JASMS, to ensure it will flourish and to remain steadfast to the ideals and teachings of my alma mater. Proud of my educational heritage, I will be conscious of God's presence every day of my life. I will exemplify the desirable Filipino values of family solidarity, personal integrity, leadership, and service to the community as my contribution to a stronger nation and the transformation of the world through a culture of peace. So help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, our University President, Mr. Marco Alfredo M. Benitez.
Dr. Felina Young, University Chancellor, Executive Director, Teacher Remy Cruz, Principal Regina, Teacher Nolly, our hardworking academic and level coordinators, faculty members, parents, and our dear graduates of Batch 2021. A pleasant day to all of you. We gather here today for your virtual graduation from elementary to junior high school. There is something about this rite of passage for every student, a most important accomplishment that not even a global health crisis must be allowed to stop. I will not anymore take you through the difficulties we all faced early on in the pandemic. The problems with internet connectivity, lack of suitable devices, unfamiliarity with Google Classroom and Google Meet, such as difficulties with muting and unmuting, finding the correct link for your class, and of course, fatigue from being in front of the screen the whole day. We all had challenges adjusting to the new environment, one way or another. And while these problems on connectivity, the limitation of our devices, and even distractions in our home environment still crop up occasionally, we've already learned to adjust without allowing them to unduly stress us out. Rather, I want to take this opportunity to give credit where it is due and remember the people to whom we owe our successes this school year. Remember your teachers who had previously taught one way all their lives, but learned to adapt for the sake of you, their students. Thank you, dear teachers, administrators, and staff, for your passion and dedication, without which this year would not have been possible. Remember the non-teaching personnel, the librarians, registrar, guidance, the admin staff, maintenance, and security personnel who have been with you most of your years here at JASMS. Thank you for your dedication and the care with which you've dealt with our students. Most importantly, remember your parents or guardians who, despite the extreme challenges brought about by the pandemic, still make sure to provide you the opportunity to have a JASMS education. Let the next chapter of your lives be a tribute to them. Thank you, parents, for being our primary partner in the education of your children. This year is as much your success as it is theirs. A JASMS education is centered on the concept of problem-based experiential learning, or learning by doing, with the goal of forming autonomous individuals within the context of democratic group living. When you come to think of it, this will probably be the greatest problem-based learning by doing experience we will face in our lifetime. In fact, just like you have been taught to think critically, creatively, and draw from your various experiences possible learnings that may apply to your current situation, we ourselves, your parents, teachers, and administrators, are all trying to do the same in dealing with the immense challenges we face today. All the while, trying to live the values integral to JASMS and PWU: integrity and spirituality, family solidarity, empathy, kindness for one another, and an orientation towards working together for the good of the greater community. Remember, every experience, every failure or challenge that life throws at us, and you can be sure that there will be many, are opportunities to learn. Oftentimes, the greatest lessons are drawn from life's greatest challenges or traumas, such as this one. Mark my words, I said this to batch 2019-2020. We will overcome this pandemic. When that day comes, you will look back at this experience with renewed confidence that not only were you able to go through a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic at such a young age, but that you were able to better yourself and hopefully contributed to the improvement of your friends and family in the process. Going through the different Google sites Principal Regina shared with me to showcase what you've learned, I have no doubt that even in this remote learning environment, you did attain the competencies that your teachers set out to teach you at the beginning of the school year. But don't be satisfied with just acquiring the skills, because that happens in any given year. This year was not just about achieving the learning outcomes required by DepEd. This year, we learned about resilience. In Filipino, katatagan. Resilience is showing up for class despite being dropped multiple times because of a weak or intermittent connection, or despite being in quarantine or isolation, or worse, despite dealing with the death of a family member, relative, or loved one due to COVID. This year, we learned about empathy, or malasakit. Empathy is understanding what others are going through, and sharing their feelings and experiences by being able to put yourself in their place. Empathy is helping out a fellow classmate who missed a lesson or activity because of no internet. It is behaving in class because you know that your teachers are having a hard enough time as it is. And it is being generous with your resources and possessions for a classmate in desperate need. We also learned about faith and acceptance, or pananampalataya at pagtanggap. These mean recognizing that there is only so much that we can do, that it is okay to feel anxious, hopeless, or depressed because we can't go out of the house, or a parent lost a job, or because we just don't know how to cope with everything that's going on. But we have to believe that this is part of a greater plan and that this too shall pass. This pandemic may have disconnected us physically, but I hope that it has led us to a deeper connection with our family, friends, classmates, and teachers, one that exceeds any physical divide. If there's one advice I'd like to leave with you as you move on to high school, it is this. The pandemic has given us one more year of remote learning. That means you will still be learning from your homes together with the other members of your family. I want you to set aside at least 1 hour of your day to be with your family. It could be during mealtime or at night before bed or whenever you are all together. But when I say be with your family, I mean be present. No cell phones, tablets, nor games, etc. Just listen, share, tell stories, and just be with your family. And if it comes down to a choice between schoolwork and time with family, I myself am telling you to choose that hour with your family. If there was at least one good thing that happened because of this crisis, my hope is that families have grown closer as a result of spending more time together. To end, as the PWU hymn reminds us, wherever we may wander, wherever we may roam, let us never forget the lessons and values you learned here at PWU-JASMS. To be resilient, to have faith and learn acceptance, to have empathy, kindness, work hard, respect others, seek the truth, enjoy the journey, and treat every experience as an opportunity to learn and become better human beings. Thank you and congratulations.
Grade 6 graduation ceremonies for Class 2021. We are thankful to our students and their parents for bearing with us in this challenging and brand new experience. To all our guests, parents, guardians, and friends, teachers, our university officials, thank you for tuning in with us in this virtual event. This has been Samantha Elvis Simone Armonsod, your Master of Ceremonies for this momentous event. We would like to request everyone to remain in the stream and sing wholeheartedly the JASM song and PWU hymn.